This right here is a camera strap, and so is this, and this, and this, kind of, and even this, I think. The point is, these are all different ways to secure and carry your camera, and you might be wondering which one is right for you. And while I can't answer that question for you, I can at least give you information about all of these so that you can make an educated decision for yourself. Let's get into it. I'll start with this strap right here, although most of what I'm going to say about this one could also apply just as easily to this one. Now these simple kinds of straps are great. You just clip it to your camera is now attached to you. They're simple, they're reliable, they're easy to use, they're also fairly easy to adapt. You can wrap it around your arm, you can get it off of your person while still having some measure of security to your camera. They're inexpensive, which is great. The only cons with something like this is they're not the most comfortable thing for long days of use, and this one in particular can be a little bit tricky to get on and off of the camera, but it's really not a big deal, and these are some of my favorites. They're nice and strong, reliable, easy to adapt, simple, and inexpensive. The same can very easily be said for this strap. However, it is not as strong as the previous strap that I just showed you. However, what you lose in strength, you make up for in comfort. It's considerably more comfortable. And because of these clips, it's much easier to get on and off the camera. Up next, we have the Black Rapid straps. These are great. Black Rapid makes a whole range of these. This one in particular is just a simple over-the-shoulder, hang down by the hip strap that allows you to adjust the position of the camera with little clips so that you can more or less hang it wherever you want on this thing. And it's decently comfortable. However, I find that when you're walking around or hiking or doing things like that, your camera can tend to flop around by your hip down here and can bang up against like hip bones or your thigh, and after a long day that can be rather painful. So I tend to avoid using straps like this particular one for that reason, but when it comes to the shoulder and other areas like that, this is quite a bit more comfortable than the previous two straps. However, they are also significantly more expensive, so keep that in mind. This next one here is every wedding photographer's bread and butter. I don't shoot weddings very much, but when I do, this thing is awesome. This is the Coiro leather camera harness, and it allows you to carry two cameras at the same time. It can take plenty of weight, gets a lot of the weight of the cameras off of your shoulders and your neck, and really directs it more into your back, which is excellent for when you're spending a long day at a wedding venue running around shooting everything under the sun. I've used this on weddings before, and it has been a real lifesaver. At the end of the day, I'm in significantly less pain. Plus, the convenience of being able to have two cameras at once with two different focal lengths means I don't have to switch lenses, and I can just run the day with a two camera setup and not really have to worry about not having a particular situation covered. As awesome and convenient as these are, you are going to pay for it though, because this thing is expensive. And finally, we have this thing. This is the Peak Design Capture Camera Clip, and it seems to be the internet's favorite way of carrying a camera, and to an extent, I agree with that. This thing is fantastic. It can hold up to 200 pounds, which seems a little bit pointless to me if the thing you have it clipped to can't hold that much, but that's neither here nor there. Fits basically every camera in existence and is probably the go-to when it comes to quick camera access and convenience. And you can clip this to all kinds of stuff. You can clip this to your belt, you can clip this to your backpack. I leave it clipped to my backpack pretty much all of the time. It just goes on the strap and sits right here. As excellent and convenient as these camera clips are, they are also expensive, so keep that in mind. I use this every time I'm going out with my camera bag. It makes it very easy to just keep the camera accessible, and I have no worries about this thing breaking or the camera being dropped in any way, shape, or form. So these are fantastic. However, this is not actually my favorite way to carry my camera. This is fantastic when I'm out and about with my camera bag. But I usually like to go around with just my camera on a strap and a single prime lens as like the daily carry. If you watched the EDC video I did a couple of weeks ago, you'll know this about me. The only drawback is it can be painful if you clip it to your belt. It puts a lot of weight on your hip and that can be painful. And also it's only really useful if you clip it to something, like for example, the strap of a camera bag or your belt or something like that. But this is definitely my second favorite way of carrying the camera. Out of all the ways that I've shown to carry a camera, this simple strap right here is my absolute favorite, and the Peak Design Capture camera clip is the second favorite. That is what works best for me personally. So when you are in the market for a camera strap or some way of carrying your camera, here's some things to think about. Number one, think about what it is you're wanting to shoot and how you're wanting to shoot that. Number two, think about the gear that you're going to need to shoot whatever it is, whether it's portraits or street photography or landscape or adventure photography or something like that. Take that and the gear that you're going to need into account when choosing what kind of camera securing system you're going to use. Number three, budget. Just because it's inexpensive doesn't mean it's bad. Some things like this are $20 to $30 and they're fantastic, whereas these are much closer to $100, but you definitely get the value out of what you're paying for, but it's only really useful if you have a specific use case for that particular thing. If you want something general, I would go with something like this personally. With all the information that I've shared here about different ways to carry your camera, hopefully you'll have an easier time deciding exactly what you want to use. I'll have all of these things linked down below in the description if you want to check them out, and I hope that you've enjoyed this video and found it helpful. If you want to see more things like this, don't forget to like, subscribe, all the things all the popular YouTubers tell you to do, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.